foggy going on there. All right. Well, good morning. I am headed to the Indianapolis Boat and Travel Show. This is the second one that I've been to at the State Fairgrounds. This is the fourth one I've been to overall. These things can be extremely draining, extremely chaotic, but can also be extremely rewarding on the financial side. Somebody who's on a run and selling a bunch of boats, it's fun. People have such a good time at these shows. That's what it's really all about. It is very, very exhausting. We are on our third day here, which means that I'm on day seven of working. I did have off Thursday, but obviously worked for the Livish agency, got some stuff done there for the projects that I'm working on. So just every day has been filled with opportunities, and so I'm grateful for that. And with that said, there are a lot of ups and downs and things that are unclear in life and in business, and it's, without actually knowing how things go or having experienced before, it can be very overwhelming in your mind. What's going to happen next? Is this person going to move forward? Is this deal going to go through? And so I think the one thing that being in sales since the age of 16 has taught me is just the mental, resilience and wherewithal to be able to navigate through some of these things and really just simplify them down to what facts are, what is happening right now versus what could happen, and all those things. My passion is for the possibility of things, so I love that. But also, you can create mountains out of molehills when you're in your mind. So you just have to accept things for what they are and really analyze them for what they are, and then act accordingly. And sometimes acting is not the solution towards that particular endeavor that you're engaged in. Sometimes it's just stepping back and realizing no action is needed, just patience and poise is needed in that relationship, and move on to the other things that you're working. Put those as priority while maintaining an understanding and an awareness that you need to be ready to act on something that may not be moving forward the way that you had hoped. So all that together, it brings me to the understanding of the poise and patience, and that things will develop over time. Action is not always warranted towards a particular endeavor or engagement. And so you've got to reduce that to, okay, I've done everything I can up to this point. If you don't know what to do and you've asked for clarity, because that's the other thing, to be clear on what it is expected of you, that's extremely important to reducing stress, is making sure that you are doing your very best to get clear communication, to make sure that you and whoever else is involved in your engagement, or someone who is expecting you to do things, that you're all on the same page. And that's very hard to do. I don't think everyone is a great communicator. I think most people are a poor communicator, including myself. And I'm very aware of the communication. And so with that focus, I feel like I do a good job of elevating communication so that people are clear on what I expect of them, and then what I expect of myself, and setting timelines and dates and things of that nature. If in an engagement, someone says things like, okay, we have a lot to be done, and you agree with that, yes, we have a lot to be done, and then no timelines are set, or when things are expected to be done and you agree to get those things done, and you do get those things done in the time that you said you would get them done, and then no action is taken from that can be very confusing. Like, was that worth doing anything or not? And so it's important to reach out, communicate, say, hey, I haven't heard anything back on this. Was there a timeline to get results on this or feedback on this? Sorry about that. I'm going over potholey road here in Indianapolis. But the communication has to be constant. And if the person that you're communicating doesn't want to communicate, that's the problem, not you. So, track the timelines, the goals, the objectives, and the expectations from the other person, so that you can be clear on what you need to do. And once you've met those, and then you ask the person if there's anything else to be done. If they can't give you any answers on that, then you need to let them know, well, hey, at this point, I'm now waiting on you. So always put that ball back in someone else's court without just assuming it's in someone else's court, because once you do that, then you are both on a clear page. But now you reduce your stress immensely by having passed the ball on when it's appropriate. That's a conversation for another day about passing the ball or handing off obligations. But it is important for your own mental sanity, for your health, and the productivity of whatever endeavor you're in, to make sure you pass the ball and get acceptance on that ball as passed, and then alleviate yourself from the stress and the worry as much as possible, because now it's been handed over. Now all you're waiting on is that person to respond back, and then you go from there. So again, take things one step at a time, but be very clear on where you're at. Don't assume where you're at. Define and clarify where you're at with all parties involved. Have them all in agreement. Move forward, and then when you're ready to be done with yours, communicate that you're done, pass it on, get agreements from all parties, and then be done with it. That is the best way to move forward. That is the best way to reduce stress, and it just adds a lot of productivity and clarity to any engagement that you're in. Hopefully that adds some value to you guys today. Again, don't overthink it. Just over-communicate it, and make sure everybody's on the same page.